to digest and a lot of voices to be heard. Stick to the frequency that amplifies these voices, stories, and reports that make the difference. This is Akojopo News, 88.7 FM, the people's voice.
This is Kunle Amzat Studio. Akojopo 88.7 FM. Welcome to News Around the World.
Good evening. Welcome to the news around the world on the most listened to radio station, Akojopo 88.7 FM Ibadan. I am Oluwatosin Ologun. First headlines. SGF issues from a correction on Tinubu's official title. Oilia holds farmers, others dialogue and enforcement. Starmer urged to resign as Labour loses hundreds of seats to reform. South Africa's top court revives impeachment process against president. AFN names Toby Amuson in equity in 45 athlete squad for African Athletics Championships. Now the details. The Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation has corrected the official appellation of President Bola Tinubu following recurring errors by some organizations and media outlets. This was contained in a statement issued by the Special Advisor on Media and Publicity to the SGF, Mr. Yomi Odunuga, who said the clarification was personally signed by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, which according to him, Akume urges the public and the media organizations to verify official titles before publication to avoid what he described as embarrassing and avoidable errors. According to Mr. Yomi, the clarification became necessary following an error observed in the naming and appellation of the president in a publication by a national daily on Wednesday, May 7, 2026, stating that for the record, the correct and official appellation is His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Menstrual hygiene remains a key aspect of women's health, focusing on proper care and cleanliness during menstruation. Many girls and women continue to face challenges in maintaining proper menstrual hygiene, with increasing awareness and ongoing conversations around reproductive health. Akojopo FM News correspondent Ramilekun Alausa reports on menstrual hygiene. Here is a report.
Menstrual hygiene remains an important but often overlooked aspect of women's health, especially among young girls and women in many communities. However, with increasing awareness and education, more people are beginning to understand that menstruation is a natural biological process that requires proper care and hygiene. Menstrual hygiene refers to the practice women and girls adopt during their menstrual period to stay clean, comfortable, and healthy. Poor menstrual hygiene can lead to infections, discomfort, and in some cases, serious reproductive health issues. In a conversation with Akojopo FM, a student shared some of the challenges she faces during her menstrual period.
It's good to have menstrual hygiene by changing our pad 2 times or 3 times daily to keep our body clean, to prevent diseases from us.
Also speaking, A woman highlighted how she has learned to maintain proper menstrual hygiene.
To take our beds regularly when we are in our periods, a pad, to bath regularly, to scare off diseases in our body.
Providing expert insight, a healthcare professional, Mrs. Oduyale today, stressed the importance of menstrual hygiene.
Regularly changing clean, absorbed material pads 4 to 8 hours, washing the agenda area daily with water and wash hand before and after product change.
Good menstrual hygiene is vital for the health and confidence of every girl and woman. With proper awareness, access to safe products, and supportive environments, menstrual health can be managed with dignity and ease. Remilekun Alausa and Gidigbo FM News.
The Air State Rule of Law Enforcement Authority, OILIA, has engaged farmers, herders, and other critical stakeholders in roundtable discussion on resolutions reached during the Stakeholder Summit on adherence to the Air State Open Rearing and Grazing Regulation Law, with a view to harmonizing areas of agreement among stakeholders. The meeting, which was held at the Local Government Service Commission Training Center, Secretariat Ibadan, provided an avenue for participants to deliberate on peaceful coexistence, implementation of the grazing regulation law, and measures to prevent recurring clashes between farmers and herders across the state. Speaking at the meeting, the chairperson of OILIA, retired Justice Aderonke Aderemi, said the discourse became imperative in view of the need to strengthen compliance, deepen dialogue, and promote sustainable livestock management in the states, and noted that the engagement was aimed at addressing recurring challenges affecting farmers and herders, including destruction of farmlands, insecurity, and disruption of livelihoods. According to retired Justice Aderonke, the administration of Governor Sheyi Makinde remained committed to sustaining peace and protecting the interests of all residents in the state, and explained that adherence to the grazing regulation law was not limited to farm settlements alone, stressing that the law also covered individual farmlands and was binding on both farmers and rearers. The chief imam of Agidigbo FM, Alhaji Zakaria Yunus Bababa, in his Jummah sermon today, urged the Muslim Ummah to not lose sight of shame and dignity of the human person. Alhaji Zakaria further enjoined the Muslim faithfuls to guard their tongue, their sides, and their appearance, stressing that corruption of the societal values all starts with lack of shame.
The lack of shame has destroyed a lot of sins in the whole world. It has destroyed a lot of homes, that destroyed society, that destroyed towns, a lot of countries, even the world at large. There's no shame in it. Very aware, not have shame anymore. Likewise, the men, he is all lack of shame, just like that. So we need to maintain our dignity. This will know what the shame is, and we should desist from what can bring shame onto us.
The Imam concluded his message by encouraging everyone who intends to sacrifice a sheep on Eid al-Kabir to keep their bodies clean from now, as the Sunnah of the Prophet prescribes. Now it's time to link up with our United Kingdom studio for the foreign news.
News from Kule Amza Studio, Agidigbo FM, United Kingdom. I am Zikrot Fasasi. Reforms Party is on course to smash through Labour's red wall, having picked up to victories in Hartlepool, Tamworth, and Newcastle-under-Lyme. Reform secured its first outright win of the election just after 6 a.m., taking control of Newcastle-under-Lyme from the Tories as Labour lost its majorities in Exeter, Redditch, Hartlepool, Southampton, and Tamworth. Meanwhile, the Hartlepool MP Jonathan Brash called for Sir Keir Starmer to resign, while John McDonnell a Labour backbencher who served as shadow chancellor under Jeremy Corbyn, warned that the result could signal the end of Labour Party. However, Sir Keir Starmer has been urged to resign as its party loses hundreds of seats to reform. Two men have been found guilty of spying for China after carrying out shadow policing operations on UK soil. The 65-year-old Biyun and Peter Weil, 38 years, are the first to be convicted of working for China under the National Security Act, as prosecutors confirm both who are dual Chinese and British nationals ran a surveillance and intimidation campaign against dissidents who they called cockroaches between December 2023 and May 2024 to infiltrate the Hong Kong protest movement in the UK. Although in July 2023, Hong Kong government offered a $1 million Hong Kong bounty for information about or for the capture of dissidents abroad. Home Office Minister Dan Jarvis has thereby summoned the Chinese ambassador that the activities carried out by the men on behalf of China are an infringement to UK sovereignty and will always be unacceptable and never tolerated on UK soil. And that ends the news from Kunle Amza Studio. Agidigbo FM, United Kingdom. I am Zikrot Fasasi.
Now to the exciting world of sports. The Athletics Federation of Nigeria, AFN, has named a squad comprising 25 female and 20 male athletes for the continental event scheduled for May 12 to May 17 in Accra, Ghana, as Toby Amuson, the world record holder in women's 100-meter hurdles, will lead Team Nigeria to the tournament alongside Chukwuebuka Inequity, the three-time African champion in men's shot put. Favor Ashe, fresh from inspiring Nigeria to an African record in the mixed 4x100 meter to the world relays, will also be with the team, while Enoch Adegoke, Chidera Ezeka are other male sprinters on the list and others. Nigeria will also compete in field events with athletes such as Romeo Bernard, Emmanuel Audu, and javelin thrower Adams Samuel Kure. The championships in Accra will provide another major platform for Nigerian athletes to test themselves against the continent's best as preparations continue for the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, Scotland. To wrap up the news this evening, here's a recap of the headlines. SGF issues formal correction on Tinubu's official title. Earlier holds farmers at a dialogue on enforcement. Starmer urged to resign as Labour loses hundreds of seats to reform. South Africa's top court revives impeachment process against president. AFN names Toby Amuson Inequity as 45 athlete squad for African Athletics Championships.
Don't forget that you can listen to us live on our website www.agidigbo88.7fm.com. You can also download our mobile app on Google Play Store and iOS. Simply search for Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Follow us on Facebook at Agidigbo 88.7 FM, on Twitter and Instagram at Agidigbo 887 FM, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have news stories and tips for us, contact our newsroom on 070-8714-4865 or send us a mail on newsroom@agidigbo887fm.com.
And before we go this evening, here's a quick tip. Always remember that self-doubt kills talent. Finally, we have come to the end of the news around the world on the most listened to radio station, Agidigbo 88.7 FM, Ibadan. I am Oluwatosin Ologun. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
News is information, and information is power. At Agidigbo 88.7 FM, we bring the news from top to bottom.
The Oyo State Independent Electoral Commission, OISEC, has called for continuous collaboration.
We bring you reports from Oyo State.
The Oyo State House of Assembly has called for thorough investigation.
Southwest Nigeria and the rest of the world.
Has clarified that the body did not receive any cash support from international development.
Trust us to keep you informed